Welcome back, everybody, to episode 6 of Lost in the Wild podcast. We're back after a few months, and we're just going to we're in St. Louis on winter break. We're going to try to get a bunch of guests, record a bunch of these, and hopefully have a lot more episodes. So today we have a guest that I've been wanting to get for like a long time, like since we recorded the first 5 episodes. Dylan Creath, our good buddy. Say hello.
What's going on, guys? Glad to be here.
And of course joining us. Joining us.
Doesn't deserve a introduction.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, Dylan.
It's usually, I think you mean I don't need an introduction.
If you want to interpret it that way.
Yeah. It's Eric.
Woo.
Gershilovich.
Of fame from John Cena, YouTube fame.
Mm-hmm.
Should we? That story happened after we recorded the last podcast, so we should just tell that story.
Did it?
I think so.
The John Cena thing?
The last podcast was posted in February.
I had sex with John Cena, and that's the story.
And it was on
Strong
YouTube.
man. And now I have to see Bumblebee.
He just didn't want to come to our high school. That's all. That's the only problem.
Yeah. Long story. It's a good story, but long story short, we entered a competition to get John Cena to come to our prom to promote his movie Blockers, and we made a video. You can find it on YouTube. Eric stars in it. You know, Eric's been in like a lot of my videos, and in every one he cries. That's like, we don't do it on purpose.
Trademark.
Even the one I come up with, I end up crying in them.
Yeah, we just shot like a fake infomercial.
It's just emotional overload. You got to put everything out,
That's the best. Yeah. That's your best performance. Yeah.
It's like I pull from like the sad stuff in my life, and when I start crying.
Yeah, like when your parents took your dog away.
Twice. Yeah. I haven't thought about that in years, actually. So.
We talked about it on here.
Yeah.
Folks, the rest of this podcast will be very depressing.
Yeah. All right. So who cares about me and Eric or John Cena? Dylan, you're a man of many
facets, talents.
Thank you. I was just going to wait.
And paths.
Okay. So let's just start. What I kind of like to do is just start like chronologically. Like, we met you in middle school.
Mm-hmm.
Did you... I don't remember. I was trying to think. Where did you come from? Like, were you there in 6th grade? Were you there in
8th grade. I came from Parkway West.
Okay, you transferred. Is there a reason why you transferred?
We moved houses, and I was in the district, and I hated Parkway West, and I wanted to meet new people.
West.
And I figured Parkway Central would be a very good transfer because I liked the whole summary of the whole vibe I got off of it.
West molests, I've heard. That's just a saying I've heard.
It's a broad statement, but okay.
I don't even want to entertain that. Like, we could. Okay.
Yeah. Continue.
Thank you for contributing.
That's what I've heard, but continue. I'm not trying to not make an accusation.
Molest?
But they had Slap the Jew Day.
Oh,
Remember
that's
that?
at the high school, right? Slap the Jew Day.
Did you not know about that?
It was a very eventful time.
Yeah, at high school, whatever. We're not going to the anti-Semitic pool here.
It would be a slugfest at Parkway Central.
Yeah.
No, it wouldn't be. You know it wouldn't be. Well, it'd be a bunch of people.
Can you imagine,
sir,
I wouldn't know how to react if I got slapped. Like, I'd
be like, ow.
Well, yeah, but.
Hey, why'd you do that to me?
Because you're Jewish.
Oh, good one.
Yeah, okay. You're right. See, so, yeah, toughest guy. I know.
Anyway, first thing I knew about Eric. Well, first thing I knew about Dylan. Dimples. Beautiful dimples.
They're there.
How long have those been around?
Oh, I actually won there was a cutest baby competition in St. Louis, and I won the dimples category when I was 3.
In the city of St. Louis?
It is in the newspaper. I have an article I can show you.
First of all, didn't know there was a cutest baby competition. Second of all, didn't know there was a category.
There's multiple categories.
And one of them is cutest dimples. So that's surprising.
I secured that bag.
So did that go to your head, in between the ages like 3
when I as soon as I hit kindergarten, I just knew I was the best looking kid out there, and no one could compete with me.
Yeah,
that's true.
It must have been a hard life.
Falling in love with this man.
That's good. I didn't know that. But they are very prominent. Like, do you ever put your fingers in there?
Touch them?
Yeah.
You can fit nickels into them.
Okay.
So yeah, in 8th grade, he was in choir with us.
I was not in choir. Do you have choir stories? Because we were in a science class together that I was going to
do a solo with Anthony Rollo. Then Anthony messed it up halfway through the song, and I had to take over a little bit.
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah.
What song was it?
Oh, I have no idea.
Was it Magic?
No, it was one of those weird Latin songs that they always had to sing.
Yeah.
And we didn't know any of the words meant. We were just.
You could just make it up. No one knows.
So we were in science class together in 8th grade, You remember that at all?
Somewhat.
I mean, there's like
Mrs.
Orr, yeah.
Or
But
what?
the prominent thing that came out of that class was the class where I made my only video to like ever get any views, and I haven't talked about that video on here yet. I made a science project in this 8th grade class. Really, it was pretty shitty, but like everyone else, do you remember what you did? Like, no, probably not, right?
I made some weird poster with Hunter Lederman.
Yeah, everyone else, like the assignment was just like make a brochure with crayons, right? What was that?
Pretty basic stuff.
Yeah. It was like make a brochure, and I was like, I'm gonna spend 60 hours and make an animation, and that's gonna
That's
be
exactly how you used to sound too. That's how you sound now. But.
yeah. Oh, okay. Well, so I made that animation, and because it took so long, I turned it in like a little bit late. And even though like it was the most effort I had put into anything school related in my life, I got like a B because I turned it in late. It was bad, but I don't know. I uploaded it to YouTube.
You said you're thinking you deserved the A.
It was amazing. You should have gotten it 100%.
Oh, thank you. I'm just so humble. Like I didn't.
His face is beet red right now.
Yeah. Well, I'm also a little sick, but that doesn't even make sense. Well, I put it on YouTube. It just skyrockets to like right now it's at like 110,000 views, and it's just me explaining a science concept, and there's hundreds of comments, and a lot of people say that like that video was used in their classroom by a teacher to like teach. Like, they're like, oh, this video like helped me so much more than the textbook on my tests. And I was like, well, I only got a B on it, but I'm glad you passed your test.
Well, we have a guest. Anyway, Dylan, you were in 8th grade with us. Got through that. Freshman through senior year, were you with us?
I was with you.
Saw you here and there.
Here and there, everywhere.
and there.
I tried to be sporadic in friend groups.
I feel
didn't
like
want to be anchored down to
Yeah.
anybody. Anchored down to the man.
That's true. That's true. Well, now you are the man now. But we'll talk
I
about
am
that.
the man.
But the most recent time, I specifically remember spending a lot of time. Well, we had a band, but that's.
I really want to talk about J.E.D. Do you want to finish your point first?
Yeah, I mean, I was just gonna say the first time or the most recent time I really remember spending a lot of time with Dylan. I'm sorry, I'm just hitting the table. Is spring break.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
We were on spring break with him.
yeah,
Yeah.
that one.
yeah.
A lot of memories made there. A lot of memories
A
lost.
lot of memories not ever made.
What are you gonna do? So yeah, that's.
Do you have a spring break Dylan story?
I don't remember anything about Dylan other than he was there and like occasionally we'd like swim together. That was fun.
I broke Tommy's foot.
Yeah,
Whose?
I thought Tommy broke his own foot.
No, that was me.
When there's a story.
Go
Remember that
ahead.
Tommy Creath?
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are in the one and only club in our resort in Playa del Carmen, and it's dying down. It's like 2, maybe 1 in the morning. People are still there having a good time, but see this belligerent, drunken mess of a man, and he's stumbling across the dance floor, and he has a mojito in his hand. That was our signature drink there. We would come to the bar and smack it and say mojito.
I want to preface this by saying that alcohol is legal at the age
Yes.
of 18 in Mexico, so
Yes.
the story is not an admission of guilt. It is an admission of having a good time where it is legal. Thank you.
And yeah, he kept knocking into people and like spilling his drink on everyone, and then blaming it on them when it was obviously his fault. But
As a drunk person does.
yeah, as just a drunkard walking around. But he had been annoying me that day with things he was saying and just being kind of an asshole. So I was like, you know what, enough of this. I went up to him and I just pushed him as hard as I could.
God.
And his ankle, as he was falling to the ground, I saw his ankle went 45 with the ground, or
Ooh.
parallel with the ground. And so
It's broken.
he was on the ground. He was at a 10 out of 10 drunk, and when I pushed him, he was stone cold sober. He was on the ground grabbing his ankle for like 5 minutes while everyone's dancing around him, and he was just like he was contemplating his entire existence
In
at that
Mexico,
point.
just
in
like
Cancun, just like
1 in the morning.
And turns out he didn't see me do it because apparently I did it from behind, and he didn't know who it was. And
Does
I was,
he know? Does he
Was
know?
he pissed?
I'll get to it. He was so I carried him around for like a day or 2 straight. Remy also carried him a couple places.
Yeah.
Shout out to Remy, shit for the boys. she was carrying him, and I was carrying him wherever he needed to go, to the bar, to the bathroom, whatever, because he couldn't walk. His ankle was purple.
Wait, for like days you carried him?
At one point, I walk into our room, and there's 15 medics in there working on his ankle, elevating it and icing it, while he's drinking a mojito.
Wait, is this the same night, or you like?
This was the same. That was the day after.
Okay. So you like carried him down to breakfast and stuff?
Yeah, everywhere.
Okay.
And he actually paid the bartender at the Mix bar next to the beach, Francisco, $10 to carry him to his room.
Wow.
And he did it. But yeah, he didn't find out that I did that until we were on the plane ride back to the United States of America, and we're about to land in St. Louis, and he's asleep.
Were you like wanting to tell him?
I said I'm gonna tell him when we reach America. Everyone was like, I think you, and he kept saying, who's that funny guy that broke my foot? And I would just say, I don't know, man. We got to find him.
But it was really funny.
I kind of lived in a lie for a couple of days, but
yeah, you were like his savior.
We're about to land, and I wake him up. I'm like, hey man, we're about to land. He's like, all right, and I'm like, and by the way, I'm the one who broke your ankle. He was very angry at that moment, and then we wheeled him through the airport, and he got home. I don't think we talked for like a day or two.
I thought I saw him like walking a little bit sometimes.
Yeah, he was. The more drunk he got, the easier it was for him to walk. I guess his pain receptors weren't really firing at that point, so he was stumbling around in the same shirt for about 3 days with mustard stains on it.
I'll tell a story. If you looked at me, you would think I'm intoxicated. If we did a blood test, maybe it's possible I was. I don't know when this was, maybe recently. And I was at a bar, and I was with Jacob Gincola, and we were on the second floor of the bar, and there was a staircase. And do you know Piano Bar? Have you ever been to Piano Bar?
I've never been.
This is a good story.
And I was like, Jacob was like, hey man, I kind of want to go. It's like 12. It's like pretty early, but I'm like, ugh, yeah, whatever. I'm not having fun. Let's go. So I take one step down the staircase and I slip down the entire staircase. And I don't like tumble. I like awkwardly slither down with like my hands above me and like my legs just like struggling for like anything just to grab onto. And the bodyguard at the or the bouncer at the bottom was like, oh my God, man, are you okay? And I was like, ugh. And Jacob was still at the top of the stairs. He's like, dude, he's fine. Like he's just, and right before he could finish the sentence, he slips down the entire staircase also. And then like awkwardly slithers as well and slithers into me like two penguins like just hitting each other around. And then the bodyguard's like, oh my God. I'm like, well, I didn't say anything, but Jake's like, dude, that staircase is just slippery. Like that's just a wet staircase. So not my fault. Again, I don't know when that was, and nothing illegal was done. Thank you.
And the staircase was slippery. And
it was just slippery.
Moral
That's
is,
dangerous. I could have sued.
Yeah, you need a wet.
I got like a little bruise on my hip.
I'm so sorry.
Damages, baby. Damages.
Okay, that's foreshadowing. That does not compare to what Dylan has seen. You know, Dylan's probably had more than just a bruise on his hip, right? Like,
no major injuries really, like aches here and there, your knees.
Okay. He's referencing Dylan out of high school joined the Marine Corps, and he is describing his boot camp training. Is that his boot camp correct term?
But boot camp mostly.
So that we were going to talk about that at some point.
Yeah, I still think we should put it later. My bad.
I guess
my
I
bad.
kind of slipped through the cracks.
Yeah, this is an achronological. I'll that's just like that's obviously the most unique perspective you have to bring, and I don't want to just like get that out of the way.
I don't want to say that Dylan is just a soldier.
Yeah. You're human. You're a friend, and you were the singer in our band, right? Let's talk about that. Were you the singer? Well, you told me you could play drums.
I told you I could play drums, and I was completely talking out of my ass. Apparently.
So I'm like, oh, it's sweet. I have a drum set. Like, Eric can play piano. But what did I do? I can.
You played the bass, probably?
Maybe.
Or the guitar?
Maybe.
I think you had a mean triangle going in the background.
Well, somehow. Yeah, the point is, neither of us were like Eric can play piano, and you told me you could play drums, so I was like, we're getting a band together. We're going on the road. Like,
it was named J.E.D.
Jordan, Eric, and Dylan, our first initials combined.
Yeah, pretty.
And I was voting for Dej, but
this was a debate.
Dej is a good name. We never did.
Dej.
We gone with that.
I get a little hipster vibe off it. We could have made it work.
Yeah,
it's in the past. I don't think we can do anything about it. We could maybe revitalize it maybe in the future. I think feeling up to it, and I actually learn how to play an instrument. But
do like a military tour.
Well, so you came over. We had a practice. And
we had one rehearsal.
We had one rehearsal for about 6 minutes.
And I had like lyrics written for like a quite an anti-Semitic song. I think I remember it was like a double meaning of like Hitler and something else, and it was like
I wasn't gonna say what it was.
I'll say it was like half.
I wasn't even aware of.
I remember it.
The lyrics were like could work for like longing for a girl, but also like slightly like Nazi-esque vibes.
The reign of the Third Reich.
It was called like Hail.
Hail, yeah.
Okay. and it was like, whatever. But we had one rehearsal. I'm sure if we listened to a recording of us, we weren't amazing. And then
I mean, it fell apart like right after we realized you couldn't play the drums.
Yeah, that was the kind of the defining moment. Where
when you find out one of your bandmates can't play an instrument, that's when it starts falling apart. That's what happened to the Beatles.
And wait! I just remembered something. Remember I think you and me were gonna try to convince Dylan.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna bring up.
Okay, go ahead.
It was that after we had performed this amazing rehearsal, and I felt that none of us were interested in this band anymore. I thought,
and the song was anti-Semitic.
The song was. I mean, I don't know how you're gonna sell that.
Besides the point,
we could have sold it in certain areas. To be honest,
It
could have been, But
Australia.
I did not realize. But
they got some stuff going on.
That was a big market there.
They got some stuff going on.
Kangaroos. Look at their sleeves, buddy. Anyway, so I wanted to convince Dylan that we had booked a giant gig where like
we were saying we needed to open for Imagine Dragons.
Yeah.
Like emergency last minute. We like finessed our way.
Ever heard that.
Because we didn't go through with it.
It was
we did.
What happened? No, what happened was we called Dylan. We say, Dylan, there's been an emergency, or it's perfect for us, But basically, I think like I don't know who we lied. Someone was going to open for Imagine Dragons at the pageant or some big. Imagine Dragons wasn't that big yet, and
no, they were pretty big.
I mean, you knew their name, didn't you?
They I saw them in 6th grade at like this giant, like the outside amphitheater.
Whatever.
That's what
I'm not a big
funny.
Imagine Dragons guy.
Okay,
so that's sorry, but anyway, I called Dylan and it went to voicemail and I said, hey Dylan, Imagine Dragons is going to play here in St. Louis and they have an opener, but the opener can't come, and they've been scouring St. Louis just for any area, anybody who can do it, and they found us, and we're going to need to open. So I was hoping that like we'd rehearse and just become like an amazing band. Looking forward to this peak performance.
Dylan masters the drum set.
Yeah, and then I guess the lie would fall apart when I'm like, yeah, the Imagine Dragons isn't coming, and we're not opening for them. So
I mean, like, I don't even know. That's just not even believable. Like that would take so much convincing.
In another life, we are
touring now
with Imagine Dragons
in Australia.
With anti-Semitic
for the Kangaroos. Yeah, well, that's funny. And you have 2 brothers, right?
I have 2 older brothers.
And is one of them still doing music?
One of them is still doing music.
Is that Orphan Wells?
That is Orphan Wells.
Is that still the name?
No copyright. Yes, it's his
No
stage name.
Shout out to Orphan Wells. Is it Is it like rap?
No.
Is it pop?
Psychedelic indie music.
Okay. I'm interested.
It's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
You got a lot of stuff going on there. It's good stuff.
I just remember that me and Dylan, this is a random change, but we were in a science class together, I'm pretty sure, for a little bit. We were in Kaz's class. I totally forgot.
I was in that class. You, me, and Mitch, and Dylan, right?
I ruined your binder.
Oh, I don't remember this at all. What are you talking about?
Remember your binder that you told me that your
grandma
had throughout the Holocaust?
Oh.
Let's delve into that.
Oh,
me just being an asshole one morning, just walking in there with some track spikes.
I don't remember. Okay, I remember like kind of half.
You had just what seemed like a seemingly
shitty
normal binder on the table, and I was like, I'm just gonna go. This is a weird icebreaker, but I just went up to your binder and just stuck a track spike in it and ripped it.
Which is kind of a dick move.
Oh yeah, I was being an asshole.
What were you thinking?
Oh, I don't know. I was trying to be that. Trying too hard
Personal
to be an asshole
property
funny
is a really
guy.
serious thing.
But Eric looks at me with the most stern face I think I've ever seen, and he was like, dude. I was like, he's like, what? He was like, that was my grandma's. I was like, oh man, I'm sorry. He was like, she went through the Holocaust with that thing. I was like, all right. I'm like, all right. My whole day is ruined. You just made me feel like a freaking prick. He was like, well, why would you do that in the first? Like, what's the goal of this? Why would you just take a track spike and just rip it through my? my binder. Like, even if it wasn't something precious to me, what was the goal of that? I didn't have an answer.
I don't remember this. I didn't remember being
That's
this rude about
hilarious.
it.
I remember that very vividly because I felt extremely bad about it.
How long did I keep that up for? I told you immediately after, right?
Yeah, you told me right after.
Wait, well, did you have a story from that
No,
class?
I was just gonna talk about Kaz, the strangest human being to ever live there.
Okay, well, we should talk about that.
Still
but
on an acid trip from 1964.
yeah,
No, anyway, Kaz.
yeah, our teacher.
Have we ever brought up Kaz before?
No, that's a
Uh,
great thing to bring up.
He is the. I don't even know how to. He kind of looks like an older Mario, but taller.
He's
And
like, I mean, he has gray hair.
gray hair, mustache,
A
glasses.
beautiful mustache. He's Amish. We never even talked about that.
He's
li-
Amish.
He is Amish.
He uses a smartboard.
He grew up in an Amish household.
Okay. Wow, I did not know.
His
that.
parents were like
so much.
down to the
He's
core.
way behind.
His parents were like down to the core Mennonites. Like they were like hardcore.
Wow. I didn't know this.
Yes.
Did you talk to him about this?
Yeah, I brought it up a couple times. Well, yeah, obviously I had to talk to him. I'm not just gonna let that topic just go past me. Like I gotta
Kaz
stop
has
it
to come on
and,
the
like,
podcast.
I gotta address what's going on there. Yeah, he brought it up in one day. He used to talk about squirrels a lot. He would be talking about any type of tree growth or any populous like.
This was biology class.
Yeah, biology. And he starts talking about trees, and then just starts talking about, I think he called them devil rats or something along those lines.
Yeah, he would get off on a tangent with a personal story that vaguely, actually not at all relates to what we're
I
talking
don't know
about.
how he got his teaching license.
Is he on tenure? Is that a thing in high school?
I'm not sure.
I don't think-
I don't know if he's still teaching.
No, he's not. He retired.
He's just like notorious for like losing your assignments and then like accusing you of not turning them in, like
Happened to me on
misgrading
several
your tests.
occasions.
Yeah, like he should not be teaching. He doesn't ever know your name.
I have senior year. I had him again, and senior year, and I just never learned a single thing from that class. I had my headphones in the whole class, and I still did well, but like he would just not teach. There's no curriculum in that class. Like
Yeah, it's like a
It's
giant
very
PowerPoint,
from
right?
the book. It's just like, here you go. You need to learn this. I'll vaguely hit it and then talk about the most random topic.
he was just talking
possible.
about like when I was 27, I injected turtles with chocolate pudding to see the results of that, and it was not what you can imagine. Like always a very specific thing that he did in college. He has a wife and kids somehow.
He's hung.
He's divorced.
Really?
Yeah, I asked him about his marriage.
No,
one time.
he had this is his second wife though.
Yeah, but the first one was I asked him about that, and he did not want to even scrape the surface
Touch
on that
that.
one. No,
I mean, imagine him on the date. Like it's like when I was 27, I injected turtles with chocolate pudding.
Also, huge aspect of his character is colorblind, but isn't actually, because often he'll bring up a color and point something out and go, and I said, aren't you colorblind? And he goes, yeah. Conversation ends.
What do you want him to say?
I'm too afraid to expand on that. Like, what does that mean? You know, he's on acid.
he's still on an acid trip. Every time he cracks his spine and like cracks his back, it's just like a 19. Just some flashback comes through. Like, hey, man.
What was his nickname?
Oh, it's like
Tom.
Tommy Acid Kazanecki or something.
Tommy Acid Kazanecki.
Well, it was like old school Tommy Acid Kaz. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something with old school.
It was like
How'd you find this
an
out?
acid. What?
How'd you find that out?
So honestly, it's probably not even true. It's like it's got spread around.
Oh,
But he's like,
It's like, breaking
he's
the Amish.
definitely on another planet. Like
that man is not human. What planet is that dude living on? I don't understand.
And he was so, I mean, he's like old. He's like 67 or something.
Yeah.
But he was so old and so out of it that our choir teacher had him and skipped his classes.
that was the one class the choir
one
teacher
class he
skipped. It was
skipped.
Kaz.
Yeah.
But like students were literally harmed, not physically, but like grades and attendance was harmed by his like lunacy.
We're really shitting on this man right here. And like,
well,
He's
I
a
like
good
him.
man. he's a good man, but he just doesn't.
Like I look vaguely like our friend Mitch. We both have brown hair, and I would come in tardy, like on accident, and Mitch would get notification on his phone that he was marked tardy when he was there on time, and like then we'd have to sort that out, and
yeah,
it's just no teach like yeah. And the class has like 15 people in it. Like you can learn our names.
Yeah, he always, yeah. He had a crowd. He had a certain
but
crowd.
he can't see us. So
That's true, because you're colorblind.
yeah, and never mind.
Anyway,
We were just shapes and patterns to him at that point.
Squiggly lines.
it's like triangle, square, blurry objects. Okay, so we got through high school. I mean, we skipped a lot of high school, but whatever.
Wait, I have other high school stuff.
What else do you have? What topics do you have?
So, I don't know. Like you said, you like kind of bounced around different friend groups, which you did because like we're still like friends with you and stuff. But I feel like the main people you hung out with kind of had a different experience than like the main people we hung out with.
Yeah.
Cause yeah, like that's just like a observation. Cause like we did like a lot of quirky things, like make infomercials and stuff.
Yeah.
And like, do you guys ever do like tell me about from your perspective, like some of your shenanigans that you guys did?
Well,
If you can
say.
That your grandma would be comfortable
the
listening
reason
to.
I always liked you guys is because you guys weren't afraid of what people thought of who you guys were. Like, it's just like a respectable thing. Like, you don't care about judgmental things. And I always tried to like instill that kind of thought process into my head. But with like I guess if you want to say main friend group, it's all about what's society thinking, what am I doing wrong, how can I improve myself, and they're just thinking like, I'm not trying to rag on anybody, it's just like how can I change myself to make people think I'm better than who I actually am. But and you guys just didn't give a shit.
We were just like losers, like openly.
Let's make a podcast. Yeah.
Was that how you guys viewed us?
That's how I don't know how anybody, that's what I viewed.
Yeah. But so like, what's like a typical like Friday night like for you guys? Like what would you, cause like we would do
now or in high school?
Like in high school. Or like what's your fondest memory of like those guys?
Probably spring break, honestly.
Yeah, that was fun. That was something
but
we all shared.
A lot of the guys didn't go. Like Jameson didn't go, Nick A didn't go.
Who's Jameson?
Oh, you guys don't know Jameson.
Yeah, I don't know who that is at all.
Jameson's our good buddy that went to West, and he's just he's a different breed, man. You got to just meet him. He's a character.
Yeah, I've never even heard of this man. You guys were the Senate.
We are still the Senate.
Yeah, we both have like
The
dumb names
The
for
Apparently-
the Republic.
We're the council.
The council.
Oh, the Republic is good though.
Yeah, we never.
That's we're not like we don't take ourselves that seriously that we would be the Republic.
Well, you know what? The full name is the Council of Elders.
The Council of Elders. You know.
That just proves Dylan's point even more. But
Not
Well,
a
that
bad,
we don't
not a
give a
bad
shit.
thing at all.
Yeah, yeah.
Fucking
Well, no, I tried like it's frustrating for me because like I really don't really care. So I was like, yo, let's get ancestral names. Let's like become like spirit people, like just in the group chat because I thought we were the Council of Elders. I picture
for that, right?
Yeah, of course people should. So I changed my name to Grandfather Wolf.
Oh, it's still that.
Yeah, it's still Grandfather
I was
Wolf.
wondering why
And
it's that.
everyone else is like, well, that's gay. Well, like it's still Grandfather Wolf. That's fucking dope.
I forgot that you did
You can
that.
call me Nighthawk.
Yeah, thank you.
It was I was just talking to I had just had this conversation with some of the guys in my house, in my fraternity, because they were talking about like popular groups at their school, and I'm just gonna toot my own horn here, but I'm not trying to. Yeah, thank you. He was like saying like, oh, the popular group at our school. The popular group at our school was like good, like I was gonna say good looking, but was like athletic.
Beautiful men.
Beautiful, athletic. You know?
Yeah. That's how.
Just
That's like the stereotype.
sculpted from the gods.
Yeah, exactly. Just Greek statues.
Chiseled.
And we were not that. And I was like, oh, I would consider us like, I would consider that we were friends with a lot of people in high school, but we were not like athletic. I mean,
But are you trying to say then that we were the popular group?
Well, I feel uncomfortable saying
Because
that.
that's not, a humble person wouldn't say that.
No.
I would say you guys were the biggest group.
It's yeah, I don't know. The thing is, we've been tight since like elementary school. Most of us, and we all just grew up together doing that like artistic, like well-rounded stuff. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, at first I didn't mix very well with him because I kind of just threw myself in there like 8th grade because I knew Carter from elementary school, and he was like, "Hey, I'm gonna introduce you to all these guys. You're gonna be in our friend group." I was like, "Dope." So
Sweet.
yeah, and
Mhm.
first there was some clashing and some friction, but over time everything got settled out.
Yeah, that's
Almost everything.
I think same for most groups is like the first 2 years, like 8th grade, 9th grade was like kind of like a harsh, controversial time, and then eventually like you get all that out, and you just start like there's no like debates or like fights anymore really because you've gone through everything.
Yeah, this is like a 2-part question. Do you still have your group chat, right?
Of course.
Do you guys ever A, reminisce, and B, would you say like what is like the average attitude towards high school from most of the people in your group? Like, are they like, oh, we loved high school, or they like couldn't wait to get the hell out of there?
Well,
Like,
most people are at college right now, and that's obviously better than high school. They're more fun for the things they want to do.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hint, hint. But yeah. Do we reminisce?
Yeah.
I'm like the main person who
Nostalgic
reminisces in there.
person, yeah.
Yeah. Because I'll always be sending really funny like Snapchat videos in there and like things I just remembered, like a really funny thing that happened one time, and everybody will like put their 2 cents towards it, and then
Mhm.
it'll be done. But I always like, I'm always the one that's like, remember when this happened, or like, because I'm a thinky guy.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff just flows through my head, I guess.
Do we reminisce?
I think, well, we just had that giant, like, in our group chat, the one with the girls, too, we were, like, everything was just all coming out. It's like, remember when, and we were, like, exposing other
It was
people.
like embarrassing stuff.
Yeah, like,
you know?
remember when Mitch, did that? Remember when,
I
like,
remember that though. That was crazy. Yeah.
yeah, but,
So
but,
much
like,
white sauce.
the reason I was asking you that is because Jacob, Nicole, and I were talking, and I was telling him, now that we've had an experience of college, it makes me realize how like high school was kind of like a playground for us. Like we kind of just like looking back on it, it's like not that serious. It's high school, we went to football games. We were like friends with our teachers. Like we'd go in there to chat, you could kind of BS your way through it. And like we had fun kind of looking back on it. And Jacob was like, I'm pretty sure most people do not think that way. Like most people are like, high school was the worst.
I don't really miss high school, but
I don't miss it. Like I wouldn't do like a fifth year, but it was. I have like
parts of
positive.
it,
Yeah.
When I think about it, it's not the academics don't really come to mind.
Like right, exactly.
Obviously, it's just like get through it and do whatever. But like, it's just about the relationship you made with people. It's never about the academics. It's like memories, funny things that happened. Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? I don't know, but it's just the truth of reality, I guess.
Yeah. You guys, I see like Snapchats and stuff. You guys like fight, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes. We have never done anything remotely like that. So
well,
what
we occasionally
I
Well-
have many examples.
we have wrestled a little bit, like beat each other up with air quotes, but like you guys punch each other in the face sometimes.
I guess if it escalates to that level.
Are those serious fights, or it's like I bet I'm tougher than you? Like how does that happen?
Someone will get butthurt about something, and then it escalates extremely quickly to a point where it doesn't need to go.
So even though
I'm
you
usually
guys
the
are
one
bros,
to intervene and break it up.
yeah. So I just think that's really interesting
Yeah,
because
like-
I can't imagine how that starts, and then everyone seems to kind of cheer it on for a little bit. Like
It's the nature of the beast, man. You just take it with a grain of salt, I guess.
Yeah.
Right when you show up to it, and then you like adjust yourself to the situation. You're like, it probably shouldn't happen.
It says volumes about us, like when we get into an argument. We rarely get angry at each other, but like,
we rarely like have big
we'll
problems.
just
yeah.
like avoid each other and like kind of wallow like in the corner and be like, this guy's being a dick to me right now.
until it goes away.
Until it goes
We're
away.
pretty confrontational.
Yeah, that's just another thing I noticed. Like, yeah. How does if no one intervenes, how do you win the fight? The other person says, "I'm done. I quit." You win,
I guess.
or do you go till you knock them out? Like,
I don't think that's ever happened.
Yeah.
It's never. Oh, I'm not gonna say that because
like
it's
say
happened,
uncle
but
kind of thing.
I guess.
Who?
Like you ever played the say uncle?
oh, say uncle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eric had a rough childhood growing up, and
He knows all about say uncle.
No, I've seen movies.
yeah, you made a couple too.
We're not talking about it right now.
Wow.
I've never done that. That seems like I've done that. I have not made a pornographic film.
With his uncle.
Yeah. The
I thought
implication.
I didn't
the
understand
implication
the
is really
uncle
complicated.
thing. Yeah, I thought you were
Let's
just
veer away from this road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was a good road. I I feel like you're just the guy who does a thing that other people wouldn't do. Like, do you have any stories where people were like, yo, I dare you to do this, and you did it?
Don't tell that sandwich story.
Is there a real sandwich story?
All right.
But don't tell that one.
I want to know.
Usually, in my maybe like freshman and sophomore year, maybe that was me. But over time, I realized how stupid things can get, and I kind of turned into the dad of the group.
Okay, yeah,
Like,
that's fair.
Someone's not in the best state of mind.
You
They're
take
like,
care of them.
Yeah, not really take care of them, but someone projects a really stupid fucking idea, and you're just like, yeah, I don't know about that. And the person wants to do it, like, yeah, let's go do it right now. And you kind of gotta intervene yourself in the situation, be like, it's not gonna happen. I'm sorry.
You matured in a way.
I guess.
Yeah.
I'm the most mature and the most immature at the exact same time.
That's cool. That actually kind of sums you up, I feel like.
I guess.
Summed. Yeah, you're very mature
You're
now.
just gonna
Like,
put a label on me.
I'm
like
really
that?
like objectifying you as like this like crazy high school guy.
Do you have a friend group from the military?
Whoa, we're not there.
Well,
yet.
I'm not talking about his boot camp, but like
Every guy I've met is. I'd say about 95% of the guys that I've met throughout my experience are good friends, and I still contact them today, even though like they went this place because they're doing this, or it's like you get such a close knit bond over time, and then it's just like complete separation.
Yeah.
And then you'll come across one every once in a while. It's like they're over here and you're over here and you're doing this and they're doing this. Like, oh, let's meet up or whatever. But like, I'd say there's probably at this point probably like 15 to 20 guys that are like, that's my dog. Like I'd ride or die for that dude. Anything.
damn.
Yeah.
Overall, is there like a strong sense of brotherhood, or do people like?
I feel like yes, there is, but there's some people that let themselves get in the way of the entire idea and their opinions and everything. We're all people. We come from different backgrounds. We're gonna have like different opinions and different outlooks on life and situations. But you know, in the end of the day, obviously, we're all there to do the exact same thing. And some people let themselves subconsciously get intervened into that, and I guess that's a bad thing. I don't know.
Interesting. Here's a random question. How many women have you met in the military?
In the entire thing,
Have you met a lot? I'm assuming, or maybe not a lot.
probably met like 40, and I probably 40 to 50 women, and I probably met about 500, 600 dudes.
Are the
Marine Corps is 8% women.
Yeah, are they integrated in your like training and stuff?
Yeah,
Okay.
Were there women in your boot camp?
not in boot camp,
Okay,
but
that's it.
the month of Marine combat training right after boot camp.
Do they have their own boot camp?
Yeah,
Yeah.
They do their boot camp over on Parris Island, South Carolina. It's only males over in San Diego.
Gotcha. Are there co-ed boot camps, or that's how it is everywhere?
No, there are no. It's not co-ed. Like they're in a certain platoon. There's like in Parris Island, there's a company. So there's 6 platoons. A platoon is made up of like 100 people. There's 6 platoons in one company, and there's 2 female platoon companies over in Parris Island. There's November Company and Papa Company, and then there's like
Those are so cool.
12 male companies.
Okay.
Interesting. Because there's just less women in the military.
Yeah. What's on your mind? You got that look?
I'm just trying to picture the culture of like.
We're gonna get there, I think.
But
Like,
I'm just questioning. You are with 6 months just dudes, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you get paired up with a. Did you get paired up? Is that what happened? Or like you
Define paired up.
like you meet women basically. Sorry, like that you haven't seen in 6 months.
What?
Like
what?
I'm just like.
Are you just asking like the first time he like? What are you
The
asking?
first time I interacted with a female Marine she was one of my combat instructors at MCT,
Okay.
Sergeant Polly. She was born in a Russian prison, and she was the first female infantryman ever to exist in the Marine Corps when they integrated them into 2013. She was one of the most badass people I think I've ever met in my entire life.
Yeah, that sounds insane.
She was pretty good looking too, so that added.
See that
added
and
a good
there it is.
factor.
There it is. Here we go. We've opened it up. We've opened up the conversation.
No.
Okay. I was gonna say, and I'm not saying like I'm not saying you indulge in this, but is there a hookup culture in the Marines?
Yes.
Okay.
Is that's
we're
allowed?
we're humans at the end of the day.
Yeah, but
Yes.
they would.
There's a thing called fraternization. If a guy is an officer, say he's like a captain or a major, like he's put in a leadership role, he's an officer, like he leads Marines, and then some little like enlisted female Marine, like a corporal or something, thinks he's good looking or attractive or whatever, and like comes on to him, I guess that's not allowed. It's like you can't
so
do that.
superior and
Superior.
you can't do that.
No, you
But
can't
if you're on
do
the same level, it's not.
it. Yes, as long as you're not in the same unit.
Okay.
I mean, I was wondering about that.
This is an
too.
aspect people never.
They hit on that a lot. That's like classes and seminars about it like all the time.
They tell you like who you can fraternize with.
There's classes and seminars about fraternization, drug abuse, alcohol abuse, obviously, and then
How seriously are those taken?
very seriously.
Yeah.
There's more in the past like 4 years, I think, more Marines died from motorcycle accidents than combat.
Wow.
Yeah.
But
We're not in any major thing right now, but that's a staggering number.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
kind of messed up, so they hit on it a lot.
Yeah.
Is there anything like any random wacky whatever you want to talk about before we just transition into like Marine stuff?
Nothing comes to mind right now.
Okay.
God bless America.
Yeah. So like, I guess I will start with how long did you know that you wanted to be a Marine?
Pretty early, little kid,
Wow.
like 7 or 8.
Did you see Marines and that inspired you? Did you hear what Marines do and that inspired you?
All of it.
Yeah.
Do you know anybody that?
My basically like my great grandfather, he was a Marine in the Pacific in World War II.
Wow.
He was an island hopper and did like a lot of things, and I always looked up to him. He was pretty well-rounded guy. That always stood out to me a little bit. And then you always just see them because they have such like a great advertising
Yeah.
campaign and stuff. You always just see them on TV and like what they stand for. It all intrigued me, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Are you in a program where you can go to college after this, or you just college?
Yeah, the GI Bill. They
Yeah.
pay for your college.
Is that what you want to do?
Yeah.
Yeah. But have you not even considered anything college related really? Like
Not really.
Yeah,
I'm not really trying
yet.
to think about that
Yeah.
right now.
Okay. You got anything?
Yeah, it was. Oh, I don't know. Like so. So you enlist.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Was that a big day for you?
Me like swearing in,
Is
like
that- is that a
officially
day?
enlisted. Yeah, it's an entire day.
Do you how does the process like? Do you call them like, hey, I want to enlist? Or
Well, going to the recruiting office a couple times, I get with the recruiters, kind of gauge them a little bit. They're like, you go downtown to MEPS, medical evaluation, something. It's like this whole
Penis.
federal building. Yeah, there you go.
wait, what?
It's this whole
a Marine thing.
You don't understand it. There's this whole thing. Yeah, you had to go downtown. You have to take the test called the ASVAB, aptitude, some bullshit.
Penis.
I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of abbreviations in the military.
This is to see if like you're medically sound.
No, it's to see how smart you are and
Wow.
the type of jobs you could be eligible for.
And you can only take this once.
Yes. No, you can retake it actually
Okay.
if you just bomb it. If you're just a
Interesting.
mouth breather.
There's a situation where you could be like, I want to do this job, and they're like, sorry, buddy, you're not really smart enough for
Yeah,
that job.
because at first I wanted to go intelligence, and you have to get a really high ASVAB score to do that, like 90. And I scored, I think, a 67 on my ASVAB.
What does intelligence do?
Research mostly just like enemy databases and like hacking and like really cool, like something you would do. You would be intel.
So someone could go in and be like, I want to be like a infantryman,
Yeah.
and they get an insane score, and they'll be like, you should be an intelligence officer. They'll like recommend.
If you're eligible for it, I watched a kid who drove a Tesla into the recruiting office score a 99 on his ASVAB.
Was that out of 100?
Yeah, no. It's just I don't know what's out of, but
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. But he got a 99, and he went infantry, and you only need a 36 to go
Uh-huh.
infantry.
So you just wanted to be.
He just wanted to do that, I guess. This kid was like loaded. His dad was like CEO of Petco or something. I don't know.
Interesting.
Something
But he wanted
wacky.
to be in the military.
Yeah, he wanted to go all balls to the wall, I guess.
Interesting. So you took the test.
I took the test, yeah. And then go through a whole medical process. They check your hearing. They check your sight. Check if your joints are all good. They make you do this really weird thing called the duck walk, where it's basically like you and like 30 other guys in underwear, like crouched and walking, seeing if your knees work. Yeah.
Why do you have to be in your underwear? And why
well,
do you
they
have to
check
be
your
with
entire
people?
body to see like if you don't have major like scars or burns,
Yeah.
and like all your joints work. And
Are you like holding onto the guy in front of you?
no, it's like they're like
It's not an
bend your
elephant
right hand and like move your thumb and like weird stuff. You would be like, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
And these guys you
It's-
never saw again.
What?
You never saw these guys
I
again.
don't even know their names. Yeah,
Okay.
these are just randoms. And this isn't just for the Marine Corps. This isn't for every branch of the military.
This is
Air
before
Force,
you-
Navy, Army, Coast Guard, if you want to consider them. They
Mhm.
all go to MEPS. They all go to MEPS
Why would I not
together.
consider the Coast
Let's not hit on that. But,
I
they're
don't
not even part of the
consider
DoD.
them.
Sorry, this is like. First of all, I always thought like the Coast Guard was the military.
They are. They're a part of national.
I literally, you didn't see his face because this is all audio, obviously. But he just did like the I don't respect like the Coast Guard.
That's
thing.
not true.
Wait, okay, don't yell.
Puddle pirates.
See,
Puddle
this is all like
pirates?
these are like slurs that we don't understand.
Puddle pirates? Yeah.
He said earlier today. He said chair force.
I didn't hear that.
No. But
We
he
were
said
with
today.
Eric's lovely dad.
Wow. We should hear your dad on the podcast, honestly.
I know this is an auditory thing, but you should have just seen Eric's face with the eye roll.
My dad.
Yeah.
I love my dad.
His dad's about to be my dentist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said my dad said he wanted to join the Air Force so he could be the dentist for them, and that he was gonna he wanted to join the Air Force because apparently, and Dylan apparently proved this is true. He said it was the easiest boot camp to be in the Air Force,
Wow.
and they're not in good shape. But I respect the armed
It's
forces.
not applicable
Chair
to
force.
every single airman out
I'm
there.
sure there's a lot of Air Force guys that are like just cool, in shape, awesome, and I respect all of them.
I know an
Yeah.
Air Force guy. He went to Central, actually. Austin Wiggins, if you guys remember him.
I know
That
yeah.
actually sounds familiar.
Yeah, he's in the Air Force.
He's
Wow.
not a pilot, is he?
He's not an officer. I don't know what he does, actually.
So, okay, so when you were taking these tests and stuff, was that like during our senior year?
Yes, it was towards the end of senior year.
Gotcha.
Well, no, it was
Summer.
in the summer, junior year, going into senior year.
So when you were like,
Because I was enlisted for a year before I shipped out.
Gotcha. Oh, summer going into senior year.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
So this is
Kept it on the DL.
it's
for
a
little
long
bit.
process.
No, I just enlisted early because I wanted to secure a job that I wanted,
Gotcha.
which I got.
So you enlist, you go through the tests, approved,
Do
whatever.
everything.
Well, one more thing about the tests I was wondering is like when you were in the physical tests, when you were in the room with other people, in your mind were you like focused like I have to, pass this, or were you like kind of like how seriously were you taking that in your head?
It wasn't anything difficult. It was just weird little tasks they had
Yeah.
to do to see if everything in your body worked. Check your height and weight. They check if you have STDs. Also, they
Is that a blood test?
they take blood. They take a drug test too. So got to be clean.
Did they tell you that like there's going
Yeah,
to be
your
a drug
recruiters
test?
tell you like.
Okay.
And the strangest thing is there's a liaison for each branch, and they have their own little office, and you go in there, and they literally like interrogate you for anything on your contract. So if you have if on your contract you had with your drug sheet, it was like one-time experimental use for marijuana, they'd be like, okay, yeah, sure, you lied. Their entire job is to get you to confess to a lie. They get more money through it because they're trying to weed out I don't know how you want me to word this.
The weed heads.
I guess. No, it's not that. It's just people that lied on their contract. Like I got a ticket the other day, and they didn't say anything about it. Like they'll find out about it, and you won't be able.
They'll charge you
won't be
because
able
you
to
lied?
enlist. No, they don't charge you. It's just you're not able to go in.
Wow.
Yeah,
So it is a very selective process.
it can be. Yeah, if you don't have your head on straight.
Interesting.
All right.
You could probably get some just dickheads in there.
The guy I had was a complete asshole.
What like percent of people who go through this part of the process get turned away? Is it like a giant number? Or small?
Well, there's so many factors that can go into if you have any. Well, there's a tattoo policy for the Marine Corps. You can't have any tattoos on your hands 2 inches away from your wrist, 2 inches away from your elbows, any on your face or on your neck or on your feet. You can't go in.
Is that just because they have a certain
It's just the certain.
look
It's just they don't want you to get out and then try to go get a job and have a skull tattooed on your face.
So they're just looking out for you with that?
Yeah, I guess, but there's just regulations toward everything.
Could you get a tattoo after you've been?
Yeah, after you get out, not while in.
Yeah.
I've gotten 3 while I've been in. But
Yeah.
none of them are
Like
They're on your
break the
ass.
regulations.
none of them are written down yet. So I'm gonna have to do that when I show up to my unit. They're not gonna like that very much.
Wait, 3 tattoos?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
Where?
Got one on my left pec, got one on my right shoulder, and on my left back.
Are they like legitimate tattoos or like?
No, you just lick them and put them. Yeah, they're tattoos.
Are they,
I mean,
are they
like-
like military? Like
Yes.
okay,
yes.
One of them was not. I think from what I
No,
heard.
they all. I'd say they all. 2 of them.
One of them is a Bible verse, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
How long were you in the chair for that?
Like 30 minutes.
Really?
The one on my shoulder, I was in the chair for 3.5 hours.
Wow.
That sucked.
How? First of all, how'd you pick the Bible verse?
My buddy Benjamin. Hi,
Franklin?
James. If you're watching this, he's at my schoolhouse right with me right now. We're both very close to becoming combat engineers, but he's at my schoolhouse with me right now, and he's like the most religious guy I think I've ever met, and he brings a Bible with him everywhere he goes, and he's a really cool guy. And I go to the gym with him all the time, and he had a pocket-sized Bible in his pants while we were at the gym, and I'm looking
Don't you?
over, and I'm hitting my set. I think we were doing shoulders or something, and I finish doing it, and I look over, and he's just reading the Bible in the middle of the gym. And he had a long sleeve black shirt on. You want to know what it says? Jesus freak. I was like, all right, man. I was like, what are you reading right now? He was like, oh, just the Jeremiah verses. I was like, all right. He was like, bro, look at this badass verse I just found. He was like, this doesn't even like pertain to anything, but just read it. And it was Jeremiah 51:20. It was, you are my war club, you are my weapon for battle. With you I destroy nations, with you I shatter kingdoms. And I was like, god damn. I was like, that's some hardcore shit right there. I was like, I like that. He was like, yeah, man. And I was just like, I'm getting it tattooed on my back.
So because before we recorded, you were saying you're not religious, so you just like the meaning of the.
I took it in a literal sense and not a religious sense.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Well, I think
Does now.
I've never read the Bible.
I've never even glanced at the Bible.
Do you know Jeremiah was actually a terrible guy? No, I don't know.
I don't remember what he was. He was cool, I think. I may be completely wrong about that. I don't know.
He's just a monster. He's pretty.
He could be like a villain. He could be a villain.
You're
in the
gonna
Bible.
run. You're gonna run for like senator in like
Yeah.
10 years. And they're gonna go back.
It's
to
like
this
me saying
podcast.
it's like
Jeremiah.
They're gonna go back to this podcast and be like, I don't remember Jeremiah. He's a pretty cool guy.
no, it's like someone talking about textbooks like Sama. Like you seem like a cool guy. I don't know.
Eric Ursulich. You really want this guy to lead?
He thinks Jeremiah is cool. Like, he's Jewish, actually. He knows nothing about the Bible. The first half. I got that down, baby.
Okay. All right. You pass those tests. You get a tattoo.
No, that's way later.
Yeah, I know.
And so you get your senior year. You go through that. You're probably still doing like stuff with the Marines, or you're
Well,
probably.
they had like workouts every Thursdays and Saturdays I would go to, which I'm actually running now. I'm running one tomorrow morning.
That's cool.
Running meaning I'm
it-
the one that like organizes.
Are
it,
you
does it.
yelling during those workouts, or are you just like working?
Yeah,
Okay.
Are you in uniform?
I am in uniform. Yes.
Interesting. Where was anyone when you were working out? Was your age running those workouts?
If they would come in for leave, and they were like privates or PFCs, yeah, and I knew them because they'd be in the pool program. We're like called, not we. I was called a poolee when you're like enlisted, but you haven't shipped off to boot camp yet. It's called a poolee. I don't know why, because you're in a pool.
You're a poolee, and then when you're enlisted, what are you like at the boot camp? Do you have a name?
A recruit.
A recruit.
Yeah.
A
A
pledge.
nasty little recruit.
Are you looked down on? Well, like obviously you are, but like okay, never mind.
Well, so
Do I need to answer that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
so basically, you get shipped out. You go to California.
Yeah.
Take a flight there, obviously.
Took a flight there, got to the Bob Hope USO. Shout out to Bobby Hope.
Oh yeah, the comedian.
yeah.
he has because he always performed for the military.
It's named. It's after him. They named the entire thing after him. There's pictures of him up on the wall.
Interesting.
Yeah, but you go there. That old little lady, super nice to you. You got nothing with you. You're in jeans, a tucked-in collared shirt, and tennis shoes.
Did they? That's what they told you.
You
to
have
bring?
to wear a certain thing. You show up in there like with a tank top and like joggers on. You're getting fucked up.
And no other. You don't have any other like.
I had my social security card and a proof of ID and no phone. And I think I had a water bottle with me.
And you didn't have your phone anywhere near you?
No,
Like, you just
I left my
it
phone at home.
Damn.
I think it dusted up for 3 months.
When you first got there, were you nervous, excited? Did you know what you were getting into?
It got really real.
Yeah.
Like you watch videos online, it's like, oh, I'm gonna go do that, and then you're actually there. It's like, oh
my God.
It's kind of like a what did I do moment at first, and a week goes. You're in receiving phase, so like, you don't meet your real drill instructors for a week, and you're just kind of in these weird barracks with these weird old drill instructors that have like not been a real drill instructor for like a year or two, and they're just like done with everything.
And are they still like yelling and stuff?
Yeah. And they teach you how to like make your bed and like simple shit, just like so when you actually meet your real drill instructors, you're not like the number one target on their list.
Interesting.
Even though you still will be. But yeah, receiving week goes by, and then Black Friday, the infamous Black Friday, they march you over to your company's barracks. You go in there, sit on the ground, crisscross applesauce, left hand, left knee, right hand, right knee. And these fucking...
They just tear into you.
It's their senior drill instructor creed. They all come, every single one comes out, and they march out of their duty hut. It's what it's called, their room that like they sleep in and they work out of when they're not like with you. And they march out like perfectly and all like snap like at the same exact time, like doing the same movements. And then your company commander comes out, and they give the drill instructor oath on these recruits are entrusted in my care and all this bullshit. And then it's not bullshit, but you know.
Yeah.
And then and then it's just all hell breaks loose.
So what I'm
for like 5 hours straight, it's just like they are just like sweating through their entire uniform, like dripping, just running up and down the line, like screaming in your face. I made my bed, I think, like at least 13
so
times.
the introduction is just to like scare the shit out of you.
It's the initial just shock, like shock and awe, like 100%. Just get you used to that intense environment, like right away.
And do the drill instructors ever break character?
I've made like maybe 4 or 5 drill instructors laugh, and you'll get fucked up for it.
Wow.
So they always have to be like, they're never gonna be like, good job. You're never gonna hear that.
No, you'll never. Not when you become a Marine. Yes, they'll break. They're just a non-commissioned officer by then. They're just a staff NCO. Like by that point, they're still your drill instructor, but they're not. You're not a recruit anymore, so it changes.
So that's the thing is like, when you're a recruit, when you're an actual Marine, are you treated like? Are you still in like that kind of tense area of like you have to do certain things every day?
Yes.
And like you'll get punished if you don't?
Yes.
But it's not going to be like they're yelling at you. Or I mean, I guess sometimes they are yelling at you.
Yeah, they still yell.
Interesting.
My class advisor right now, he's a staff sergeant. He's a prior drill instructor. But he's a comm engineer, so he's teaching us the same MOS. But like...
He's still kind of like
if you fuck up really badly and like do something that is not okay, he'll whip it out real quick. Not that way.
I wasn't thinking that way.
He'll go back to his old ways.
Interesting. But that's if you like.
Oh,
really,
you have to really mess up on something.
Yeah.
Get caught drinking or underage.
Okay, so but it's like drill sergeant is like they're going out of their way. Even if you do like a very small thing wrong, they're gonna go out of their way to just like dick you down about it, right?
You could do nothing wrong and I'd still find something bad about it.
But when you're an actual Marine, it's like there's like a respect of like you're a Marine. Da, da, da. If you do something actually wrong, then you're gonna get yelled at. Okay.
You have to just be a complete shitbag.
Yeah. Other guys have seen that done. Okay.
Of course.
So even after like all of their training,
they just squeaked through the cracks. They just got by. I don't know how. It makes me mad, but
yeah, that would make me mad. Have you seen like your fellow recruits cry?
Kids would cry themselves to bed at night like all the time. I thought it was funny. I got to a pretty dark place in boot camp.
It's like it happens probably. Yeah.
Well,
you have no, I'm not.
You're not gonna talk about rushing.
Okay. No, the thing I was gonna ask is like, do you have like shitheads in the basic training that like, because they're shitheads, that like ruins like it for everybody else?
They'll punish everyone for their mistake and make them watch and not be in the punishment.
Yeah.
Had a kid falling asleep in the middle of a lesson. And they got everyone's attention, made this kid pull his mattress off his rack, put it in the middle of our squad bay, make his bed, get in it, lay down, and fall asleep while we were all holding up it's like a carrier bag. I don't know what you want to call it, but with like 30 pounds of stuff with one arm straight out in front of us for like a good hour, just watching him, and we all just snore.
Wow.
For him.
See, the thing is that like that's the interesting aspect of it for me is that like that is nowhere is it written down to do that, right? That's like a thing that drill sergeant just improvises, like, oh, I'm gonna do this.
Well,
like,
drill instructor school is like they instill like these weird methods, just how to pound knowledge into someone's head and like how to just like instill. I don't know how you want to say it. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Just weird ways, just on how to.
But did you like learn to like, even though these guys were shitting on you, did you like kind of like them in a weird way?
Well, you wanted to. At first, you freaking hated them. It's
Yeah.
like, why does he always fuck up? Why is I was maybe that guy for like a day or two just because they picked on me. But like, there's one or two in your platoon. They're like, all that guy for 3 months.
What I was talking about more about like the drill sergeant. Like, do you start to like them, like love-hate relationship kind of thing, or
If
do you just,
they can do funny shit, and you kind of learn who they are a little bit over the like in the entire cycle. And towards the end, it's like, I know I like him. I know he's a freaking psychopath. I know he's cool. Because if they're all together all at once, they're complete assholes. But if sometimes it's just one by himself. Like I had a drill instructor, Sergeant Alvis. He was from Illinois, like big, tall, gangly white guy, really cool guy. If he was around like all the other drill instructors, he's a complete dickhead. But if he was alone with us, he'd be really chill with us and just like let us know how things worked and like still be an asshole because that's his job, but like a nice asshole. If you like.
yeah, that's like you start appreciating like the moments where he's not like full blast.
And you realize the really funny shit that goes down. I have 2 notepads at my house that I had throughout boot camp, and most of them are like things I would write to my family or like funny memories I had. But I have just pages filled with quotes that
you have a
should have
favorite?
brought it.
Yeah, you should have brought it. Do you have a favorite?
Yes, I do. This really fat kid, Hernandez. He was. We were standing next to our racks, and we were all like, just like getting on line. You're all like in one line. And we had what did we do? We like, we had to run. We had to like get military bearing and like stand there or something. He was like giving us an order, and Hernandez like turned or something or like moved, and we had like just got out of the shower or something. We were all shirtless with like shorts on, and he had a really big tummy, like a big belly, and he turns really quick, and it like jiggled a little bit, I guess if you want to say that. And I hear from the front of the squad bay, tight. Hernandez wants to wiggle his belly. War bag's on line remove, and we had to fucking hold out our shit just because his belly jiggled. And yeah. Just funny shit like that.
Yeah.
You hate it at the moment, but at the end of the day, like falling asleep, you're like, that was really fucking funny.
Did you ever have like a moment of like you had a break, or was it just constantly like that?
Just every day.
Interesting. You never had like a moment where it's like you could just cool down for a little bit?
They would give you senior drill instructor square away time at the end of the day, where it's like an hour of like they're like not there. They're like they separate. You can go take a shower. You can like do whatever you need to do. Get your stuff in order for like the next day.
Interesting.
Get your uniform ready or whatever. Clean your boots. Whatever you want to do. I don't know.
So like, let's say you're like, how long were you there?
It's 12 weeks. 13 weeks.
So like 3 weeks in, are you on like a regular schedule?
You're on what do you mean by schedule? Like yourself or the entire platoon?
Like, is there like, I was going to ask you what the typical day is like. Is there a typical day?
Doing different stuff every week.
What time is like breakfast?
Wake up at like 5. Breakfast would be like 5:45.
Are you getting fucked on while you're eating?
Yeah. Or screaming in your ear while you're trying to like, and there's you have to like sit on the table with like your feet at a 45-degree angle with your left hand on your left knee, and you have to like eat, like shovel food in.
Wow. So
and they only give you like 5 minutes to eat.
What's the food like?
It's pretty good. Can't complain. You were able to look forward to it.
That's good.
Like,
That's important.
That's probably the happiest you are during recruit training is when you're in the chow, just like enjoying a little bit of food.
Is the cook, is there like a chef you saw?
Yeah, there's ladies serving you. It's like a dining hall, I guess, if you want, like that.
But
and they try to be nice to you and like, hi baby, how you doing today? Like some really nice old black lady or something. It's just like, oh, that was nice. And then you get like some fucking crazy bodybuilder white guy with a weird looking hat on screaming at you.
this is like an ignorant question kind of, but is
I
there
don't care. Shoot.
in like I mean it's not that bad when I say it, but in like some movies and stuff, I feel like they show there's like an obstacle course that's like part of the training. Is that a thing?
We had to do the O course like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah. Was it difficult?
I guess if you don't know how to do certain things.
Yeah.
Did you have to do that thing that they do in like well, I guess American Sniper, he's doing something else. But in American Sniper, they're like all covered in like mud and water.
And in the surf. Yeah, that's Navy SEAL training.
Okay, so yeah.
No,
so
we didn't.
yeah.
What was
They do that right across the bay at Coronado, though, like right next to
Wow.
where our boot camp is.
What was like the hardest you had to push yourself? Like you found yourself in a position that you were like pushing yourself mentally and physically, like
The very end thing that you have to do to become a Marine. It's called the Crucible. It's 2.5 days. You hike 50 miles, 55 miles, and you get 2 meals, and you get to ration it out yourself. So like when you want to eat and everything.
And they tell you like this is coming up?
Oh, that's the variant. That's
yeah.
You do different. You go to like stations throughout the entire base. You hike like 50 miles, and every time you get, it's like a weird like team. It's a team work exercise, so you have to like work as a team to get some task done. And every time you go to a station, it's a Medal of Honor. You have like a big sign up, and you all have to stand in front of it, and they read it off about like some guy that got like earned the Medal of Honor somehow, or all that kind of stuff, and like served his country honorably, and like most of them they got killed like while doing it, and like it's always like,
so it's like to humble you in a little
it's
bit.
always to humble you and like give you realization of what you're doing, and like put respect towards their name and like what they did. But like yeah, it's all like team building exercises, and like you have to climb on top of a big log and get like a tire like in the log, and you have to like pass it up, and it's just like weird stuff like that. But
so this is probably like this is the hardest thing you've probably done in your life.
Yeah, and
That's
then
cool.
you have to like ration out your food, and you're always moving throughout the base, and it's like Camp Pendleton's like it's like mountains everywhere. So the final thing you have to do is they call it the Grim Reaper. It's the mountain you have to climb, the infamous Reaper. You have to climb up it with your main pack on. It's like 80 pounds, and you have to get up it. And at the very top, they hand you your Eagle Globe and Anchor. It's the little Marine Corps emblem. It's like signifies that you become a Marine.
Wow.
I just actually watched the DVD that got sent in of our company that got our EGA ceremony.
There's like a guy filming you guys.
Yeah.
The whole boot camp.
A lot like the big parts of it.
You should do that.
I mean, that's a military job, right? That's not like that's just a production
It's a
guy
civilian.
who. Okay.
Some
Because I know there's like
Were you
documentarians.
pissed off? Like, were you ever like annoyed this guy's filming you?
No.
Does that guy get like a
it's like
golf
hell yeah!
cart or
I
something?
get to see my stupid bald head later getting fucked up.
Were you like attached to your hair, or you just shaved your hair?
I didn't care.
Yeah.
I shaved. Remember, I shaved. Well, I don't know if you remember, but I shaved my head like a month before shipping out.
Yeah.
Was anybody like attached to their hair and was upset?
Oh yeah. Oh my God, this kid. What's his fucking name? He's an idiot. Lobo. This kid fucking Lobo.
That's
had
a low
like
blow, dude.
the most beautiful locks I think I've ever seen. Like this Mexican like greaser, like all like just. He was like, man, I want to shave my head, bro. Like going into it, and then we get to the barber chair, and it's just straight down the center. And he was like so torn up about his hair, and I'm like, dude, do you realize where you are right now? Like, stop caring about your hair.
Did he make it?
Yeah, he made it. He's an infantryman.
Wow.
Yeah.
Does he still have the locks? Do they grow back? Or you're not allowed to like? Can you grow your hair out?
You can grow it up to 3 inches on the top, but you have to have the side shaved. I need to get a haircut. Don't worry about it.
It looks cool now, though.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have to wrap up sort of soon, but what?
We
That was
barely
fast.
touched on it, but yeah.
We talked
time is
about
it?
it. It's like
Oh damn, we
Yeah.
should go soon.
yeah. I mean, we could hypothetically resume this another time and
But
cut.
for now, we can cut
For
it.
now, we'll consider this an episode, but we're not done yet. We can go for like 10 more minutes. You said you got the job you wanted,
Yes.
which is, remind me again,
A combat engineer.
combat engineer. What are the responsibilities of combat engineer?
We have learned about airfield damage repair. We have learned about wood frame construction, basic wood frame construction, concrete setting, concrete block, tactical bridging, military explosives, military hazards, mine detecting.
Yeah.
And then we get to shoot shoulder-fired rockets.
Shoulder-fired rockets.
Like an AT-4, or I guess what you would say an RPG. We don't use RPGs. We use a small.
Mm-hmm.
just a big fucking rocket you fire over your shoulder. But
Have you practiced that yet?
we're doing it the week I get back.
Wow.
Is it? And you could become like a good shot with this.
You know how to accurately put a shot on target.
Is there a lot of recoil on that, you think?
No, because it's a straight tube all the way through, so it's not a blocked off surface. It's just a tube. So it just because it just goes straight through.
Is it like the type of thing where like one guy holds it, another guy loads it and like fires it?
No, you do it all yourself.
And do you have to carry that with you?
Yes.
Wow.
Is it like? I'm sure the training. Are they like very? I mean, you're carrying
Of
a
course.
rocket. Like,
Well, we did a demolition with 3 weeks ago. We did a demolition range and we did a 40-pound cratering charge. I put a video on my Instagram, but yeah.
how do they? Where do they have the land to?
Shoot rockets.
There's a specific area, multiple specific areas on each military installation where it's like, this is where things will get blown up.
Wow.
Do they repair that area?
No, it looks like World War One.
Wow.
It's a big crater in the earth where your foot sinks like 3 feet into the mud.
Because I'm just thinking like at some point this has been going on for years and years and years. Like I don't.
Since like the 50s.
So I can't imagine like they must have like run out of space at this point to blow up.
You can just blow up the same thing.
Their military bases are huge, and it's just all land.
Interesting.
Did you ever do anything that like you were thinking this is risky? Like, I guess I'll leave that open ended. Like
Well, you were afraid to do it.
I guess I was thinking more like risky for like it maybe was against the rules like to get caught, but also safety wise.
In boot camp, we used to steal peanut butter packets from the chow hall and eat them in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And if you got caught, you just get.
We're not even gonna dive into that. But and then 3 weeks ago you have to. So the way a charge works is half stick a C4. You take detonation cord and you have to learn a certain tie that you use on it and like wrap it around and tie it, and then that detonation cord runs and you get a blasting cap, which that's the thing that detonates and sends the current of energy through the det cord that like makes it go boom. And you have to put the blasting cap on the detonation cord and like crimp it with a pair of like pliers.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like they vaguely explain how to do it, and then we go into this bunker and you have like a Kevlar on like a military helmet and then like flak vest with like steel plates in them, like bulletproof plates, and they're like, all right, crimp it, and they're like, okay,
And you have real C4?
and then they go, okay, duck your head, and I was like, why? And they said, oh, it could maybe go off. I was like, okay. Like, all right, duck your head, and you have to squeeze as hard as you can and like crimp it to that so it's connected. But yeah, that was like a little.
When you were
kids were like shaking doing it.
I was gonna ask, when you were holding C4 for the first time in your hand, were you like?
It was like, wow, this is actually the real. And it only explodes if there's a charge going through it. If you just put a flame to it, it just burns. They just lit one on fire and just threw it just to show us like what it does. It just burned by itself. It just burned.
But
down.
I'm thinking like when you touched an explosive for the first time in your life. I don't know if you didn't touch a grenade during your training, did you?
Dummy grenades, not real ones.
So like a real explosive, you're like, did you think in your head like, holy shit, like this could kill me?
A little bit, like that went through my head, but like I kind of just let it like go out the back of my mind. Like you can't really stress about that kind of stuff.
I mean, like he's like obviously brave enough to sign up to like detect mines. Like you know that was gonna happen.
Yeah.
You have to face that.
Yeah, but obviously in the first time,
yeah,
like, holy shit.
It was a little when you're holding a stick of dynamite in your hand and there's like little pockets in the flak vest, and I just put a thing of C4 in there. I was like, this went off right now.
You do not exist anymore.
Yeah. Whatever.
That'd freak me out.
What is your best memory from the boot camp experience? Like
becoming a Marine.
Yeah, at the top.
Yeah.
So like after all of it, you finally got it.
It's just like so satisfying. It's like all the bullshit I've gone through, like every stupid. If I told you the stupidest story, you wouldn't believe I had to do that dumb shit.
Did guys like cry when they got?
Everyone cried.
Okay.
I was bawling my eyes out like a little girl.
I mean, you said that you knew you wanted to do that from you were a little kid.
Yeah.
So it's
just satisfactory. Like, okay, I knew I could do it, and I did it.
Wow. That's really cool. So are you looking forward to like the next, like going back and?
Yeah.
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 Are there any? This was something I just came up with. Are there any like you can use this as a platform, even though no one's gonna listen to it. Are there any misconceptions about military or Marines that you like want to clear up?
Marines aren't dumb. Marines are actually like smart. There's really dumb guys.
There's like really dumb
anything.
guys everywhere.
Yeah, but I'm talking like, wow, you're stupid. Can't even like form a sentence. But yeah, but like the guys I'm with, in the job I am, you have to have a good head on your shoulders. Like you have to be able to solve problems really quickly and be able, like we take tests every week and you have to study for it and know a bunch of crazy knowledge about it, like no book whatsoever, like off the top of the head. Yeah, but like I just hate hearing that. Because I've been told that a lot. Like, aren't you guys supposed to be stupid? Like, no.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else you want to add?
I'm good, man.
Okay. Well, I like to end. We kind of end every episode on like some nonsense, either like a story, just random story. Like the last one, someone talked about shitting their pants.
Is that me?
It wasn't you. It's Josh. Oh, you have a good pants shitting story though.
That never happened.
I don't know what you're talking about. We tried to make somebody freestyle rap. You want to freestyle rap?
Oh,
Don't
no. I haven't done that in a long time.
I mean, we can't just end. We can't be like, all right, thank you.
Here's,
In a
tell
long
story.
time.
Do you ever tell a story?
I mean, I could think. I didn't prepare one. I'm not the guest.
God damn it.
You know, I don't.
Do you want me to tell
Your tennis story?
Yeah. I mean, no one's going to hear this, right?
Well, it's going to go, like, there's a chance it
Nah,
could
I'm
go.
not gonna tell it
Okay, let me look through my jokes from college.
Here's a story.
Okay.
Well, I can't tell that either. God damn it. Every college story has another layer to it that I can't, like, say.
We could tell a story of us trying to, there's no ending, but us trying to find that book. There's no ending.
Yeah, well,
though.
basically, yeah, I'll tell the story. It's not, yeah, there's no ending. But,
Resume.
A year, no, not a year ago. I went too far with like how far along this was, but during like the summer before we left for college, so this most recent summer, I went to Central West End and I went to like this little bookstore, and I found in this bookstore, you know, like Diver Wimpy Kid, you know, like the do-it-yourself book. Okay, so I had one as a kid, and I found a used copy of someone else's that they like had given to this bookstore. Probably the guy was probably around my age. I don't know. And it said like John Edwards. That's an actual person. But like John Edwards, this is his book, claimed the reward for $50 million if you bring it back. And I like found him like, oh, that's funny. And I was with somebody and I'm like, should I buy this? And they're like, no, that's stupid. I was like, okay, fine. Didn't buy it. Months later, I'm thinking like, I'm still regretting not buying that book, because I was like, and I took a picture of the inside cover, which had the address of the guy on it, so I knew where he lived, and I thought, nice, and I thought, there you go again. Dylan farted.
I thought someone played the piano upstairs.
It's a beautiful note.
Nice G note.
That's your place in J.E.D, dude.
Yeah. Jesus.
Anyway, so basically, me and Jordan went back to that bookstore because like, no way anyone bought that book. And we went up to the lady and we're like, hey, we looked around, we couldn't find it. We went up to the lady.
I wasn't paying attention at the beginning, but did you explain why no one would buy the book?
Because it was someone used the book. It
It's
was a
like
full
all
book of
filled
someone
out.
else's.
The point of the book is that
It was a child wrote into this book years ago. Anyway, so we went up to the lady. We're like, we couldn't find this
Sorry,
book.
did you explain why we wanted to find it?
So for the $50 million reward.
Yeah, okay, I didn't. I really
What kind of
wasn't.
story is this?
I was-
What is like? Can you
No, it's a
imagine like a
good
movie?
story.
Like an audience is watching a movie and they're like, wait, no, wait. Why are they going into people's dreams? What's going? Rewind it. What is this going?
I was
We're on a
also
podcast.
hoping-
Inception, please.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway.
Okay, continue.
Go up to the lady. We say like, hey, do you know where this book is? She looks for it. She's like, it's gone. I'm like, okay, well, definitely no one bought it. We almost leave and we come back to the store. I'm like, do you know where you guys like donate your books? Or like if they are donated? She's like, yeah, to a Goodwill. And I'm like, okay, do you know which Goodwill? She's like, no.
The used book buyer isn't in
the
today.
way we were acting, and Jordan brought this up later, and I didn't really think about it. It was like as if we had like forgotten cocaine in this book, and like we were still looking for it because we were like, is there any way you could get us this book? Like we really need it.
And it's not ours.
It's not ours. It's like it's somebody. I had to explain like it's somebody else's book, and it's not ours. But I want to bring it back to him and all this stuff. Whatever. We leave. We go to a Goodwill, the closest one. Well, okay. I don't remember now. We buy the shirt for the video we made. We couldn't find the book. It's not there. But it was how do I say this in a non-offensive way? It was definitely an area that was like impoverished. impoverished and
Yeah.
poor. And I could tell. And so it was just two white kids basically running around like, let's like buy some toys or something.
Well,
like,
yeah, there's like I found like this. I don't know what it was, but I was like, "Yo, look, should I get this scepter?" And we were like
playing
fighting with this like
and like
thing.
I was like playing with a toaster. And we looked like an idiot, and like people were looking at us. I'm like, ugh.
Everyone else like needs to buy their clothes there.
And I go and I go up to the register. There's like one register and there's another one. And I got my white shirt like sticking on. I'm like, let's buy this thing. And she's like, oh, I'm not open. Like my register's not open. I'm like, oh,
And she points, and there's a line. Like
there's
we
a
just cut
huge
the
line. I cut everybody, and like the lady at the front's like, "There's a line," and so I got in the line. I bought it. Still felt very uncomfortable. There was no end to the story. Still haven't found the book. I'm gonna email the used book dealer. We'll see if it's somewhere out there in the world.
Did you? Okay, so like, never mind. That was good. I'm gonna throw one in here that because I just looked back through. I looked through like a list of jokes that I wrote down. Like you wrote quotes down. I did the same thing, but just from college. Because like the biggest advice for screenwriting is write what you know.
Yeah.
So like everyone around me could be a character, or like just stuff to think about, like funny jokes that happen. So I write a lot of stuff down. One of my ideas, I also write down ideas that I had, and I don't know if this came. There's no context for this. It's just written down in this list. Stop motion porn. But
Like a whole category.
Yeah, like it posed every frame. Like I don't.
Some guys would be into it.
Okay, so the story I was gonna tell, which is quick. I guess we can wrap it up. I wish you told the story, but I'll tell the story. And I'll make every character's name Dylan, so you're involved somehow. I worked on my first like college film set, like at film school. You get a big brother or sister if you sign up for one, and they'll usually invite you to come work on their set. And they're like juniors or seniors who have big projects, and as freshmen you don't. So to get experience, you work on their projects. And so I did it. It's a 12-hour work day. They treat it very seriously. They use all the terminology. They follow all the rules. You have to get permits and stuff. It's like making movies like I've never done it before. And when I was there, one of them told me, they said, well, they didn't tell me. They asked me. They said, can you pass me a C-47? Did I tell you this story?
No.
They said, yo, Shervitz, can you pass me a C-47? And like when you're there, you're like the bitch. Like you do whatever they want, and you're happy to do it. Because that's probably going to be your first job in the industry. So they're like, give me a C-47. And I have to say, sorry, I don't know what a C-47 is. Can you tell me? And they're like, oh, it's a clothespin. And then they say,
why did they just not say clothespin?
So listen. So it's a clothespin, and they say, yo, we're gonna help you out right now. In the future, like if I don't know if anyone's gonna tell you this, so we're gonna tell you. Clothespins on a set are called C-47s. And they told me the reason why is because when, like, in the old school days, when things were in, like grocery stores were smaller and had, like, random, like, items, clothespins were, like, item C-47. And you would take them to the counter and be like, I just got a pack of C-47s. And so that, like, stuck with it somehow in the film, whatever. And I was like, okay, I learned something today. That's really cool. And I ended up using that term in a joke a few weeks later with non-film people, and I just called it a C-47, and then I was like, oh, wait, never mind, you don't get that joke. And I explained it to them, and they were like, it sounds like they were fucking with you. Like, it sounds like they wanted you to call it a C-47 on a set and have everyone be like, what the hell are you talking about? And so I looked it up, and it is true, luckily. They weren't fucking with me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's cool. So now you know.
Oh, I thought that was going to end up they were fucking with you.
Yeah,
that would be funny. I didn't think, the thing is, I didn't even think about, I trusted them, so I look up to these people. And then before I looked it up, I was like, was I just betrayed, like, by my
You
film
should start
people?
that now, though.
Yeah,
you don't
so
have to start it. That's a real thing.
Well, I was like, okay, that's a great prank. When I'm a junior, I'm gonna be like, hey,
pass me the B19. It's like a B19. Like, what is that? It's like, it's my coffee. Like, a coffee on a set is a B19.
it's a B19.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like, how long will that go on until they get caught? It'll be hilarious.
It'll never get caught. It'll catch on.
It'll catch on.
I started it.
Steven Spielberg asked for his B19 because of me. Actually, another story. I was gonna maybe work
Look at
this
this
in.
guy just digging into his own podcast.
Well, I met Steven Spielberg's sister at the end.
Oh yeah, we made a video for her.
Yeah, she liked the video.
We found a drunk guy on the street in the middle of the video, and he's like, "Well, let me get in this video." And You're like, do you still have that?
Yeah, he was going to the zoo, and we were filming, and I was like, "This is gold." So I was like, "Yo, dude, come here," and I was like, "Do you like the zoo?" He's like, I love the zoo, man. Shout out to the red panda, man. That's where it's at." And he was just.
And then we're like, "Where are you going?" He's like, "I'm
beer.
going to like this bar." He's like,
yeah, I could smell the beer on his breath already. So I was like, "Did you just come from a bar?" He's like, I might have had some like natties beforehand.
And
yeah.
his girlfriend was out to the side, like, "Oh my god, like Mark is being so embarrassing right now." So,
but we were like, we just let him talk it out.
let him riff.
Yeah. All right.
That's it.
Dylan, I'd appreciate if you ended the podcast with something.
Can't just put me on the spot like that.
Anything you want, any truth you want to admit,
Yeah.
any
Phrase.
any call sign you want to throw out.
It could be one word that
Bravo.
leaves us contemplating.
Whiskey Tango. Husky.
Do you have a nickname? Do you have a nickname in the Marines?
No, I do not have a nickname.
This is Dylan.
Screech.
Like from like Saved by the Bell.
No,
Okay.
they just call me Screech.
So you do have a nickname.
I guess.
All right. Thank you, Screech, for coming today. Yeah, that was a good one. We learned a lot about the Marines. We learned about high school, our band that may or may not have, catered towards Nazis. And we learned Eric is a guy that we all know and love.
Wow.
I'm just saying that to you. We all know and love you, man. All right. Thank you, Dylan, for coming, dude. Good luck, when you go back and with your future endeavors in the Marines. I would love to have you back to update this whenever.
For sure.
Yeah, now we're going to a party. So, yeah.
Fuck yeah, bro.
All right. Thank you for listening.
I am gonna get... Cut it right there.
Well, actually,
I'm going to drink...
All right. So if you want to listen to more... If you want to listen to more, if you want to listen to more of these, they're all up on my website and on YouTube, and I'll tweet about them at Wild Wolf Films with no vowels, except there's an I in films. I should probably change that. It's really difficult. Or go to the website at wildwolf.com. No vowels, except in com.
John C. Reilly is a terrorist.
Yeah,
That's what they
teach
there's
you
always
when they give you the eagle at the top.
When you become a Marine, I've heard this. When you become a Marine, they tell you one secret about the nation that no one else knows, and his was John C. Reilly as a terrorist. And the year before, I heard it was that Ellen DeGeneres is coming out with a stand-up special, and they were right.
She did.
It's
Okay,
true.
good. It's good. I have 20 minutes left of it. It's pretty good.
And we're gonna end it there.
All right. Thank you for listening. As always, catch up on the other episodes if you haven't. Peace out.